Today, we're going to discuss the do's and don'ts of using Chat GPT and AI during your application process. This technology is a powerful and very fun and useful tool, but it is essential to use it wisely and strategically. Now, before we delve into the do's and don'ts, let's quickly cover what ChatGPT is and the relationship between ChatGPT and the phrase generative AI, which you may have seen. So, ChatGPT is a language model developed by OpenAI, and it uses a technology called generative AI to generate human-like text responses based on the prompts it receives. So think of ChatGPT as a virtual conversation partner that can understand and respond to your questions, prompts, or statements. It's been trained on a vast amount of text data from the internet, allowing it to draw from a wide range of information and knowledge. So ChatGPT, it's designed to simulate conversation and provide helpful suggestions, insights, or creative ideas. In the context of the application process, ChatGPT can be a valuable tool to help you explore ideas, gain inspiration, even stay encouraged. However, it is crucial to use ChatGPT ethically and responsibly, as we will discuss in a bit. All right, so we know what ChatGPT is, but I want to make sure you understand what the phrase generative AI means. ChatGPT is an application of generative AI. Generative AI refers to a branch of artificial intelligence that focuses on technology that creates new and original content. So that could be text, images, or even music. It uses machine learning algorithms to generate content based on patterns and examples it has been trained on. ChatGPT specifically harnesses the power of generative AI to generate human-like text responses in conversational settings. As I said before, it can simulate a conversation, provide suggestions, or just generate content based on prompts that you type in. And so the underlying technology behind ChatGPT uses that phrase, generative AI algorithms, to produce coherent and contextually relevant responses. Understanding the relationship between ChatGPT and generative AI is important because it helps us recognize that ChatGPT is just one example of how generative AI can be applied. If you understand generative AI as a broader concept, we could potentially explore other use cases and make decisions about when and how to use those technologies. I'm going to touch on this more, but it's really important to note that ChatGPT has its limitations. So you need to check your ChatGPT using self before you wreck yourself, okay? ChatGPT can and does hallucinate responses, meaning it can sometimes generate information that is just completely made up, not based on any real facts or data. But ChatGPT's ability to communicate that wrong information in a clear and confident way about things that are not real and don't exist, that is a result of it being trained on vast amounts of text from the internet, which includes both accurate and inaccurate information. And I also think it's a result of however way they've programmed it to want to be super helpful and give you an answer. So it's like stopping someone on the street and asking them for directions, and the person you've stopped doesn't actually know how to get to the place you've asked, but they want so desperately to help you, they just make something up, right? That's not helpful though. So think of ChatGPT as a really nice neighbor who is wildly wrong 20% of the time. I just made up that number. Where it's a great source of conversation, but don't take every single thing it says as gold. You always want to make sure you double check any information ChatGPT tells you and check it with reliable sources to ensure that what it said exists at all and that it's accurate so that you don't get misled by taking shortcuts and using ChatGPT as a search engine. This next part is going over ChatGPT and AI don'ts. Okay, so we're going to go over how not to use ChatGPT. Don't use ChatGPT to write your application essays for you. As tempting as it may be to let AI do all your work, it's really important that you write your application essays yourself. Admissions committees are interested in hearing your own thoughts, ideas, and journey. And we want your essays to reflect who you really are, not who Chat GPT created you as. Also, I haven't seen any updates from schools in particular yet about Chat GPT, but I feel very sure that schools do not want you using Chat GPT to write your essays for you. But I would also be very careful about even using Chat GPT to rewrite an entire essay. Do not recommend that. It can be, once again, very tempting to copy and paste your essay in there and say, rewrite this to make it more compelling. But please resist that temptation. The admissions committees are trying to get to know you, not Chat GPT. And you may be saying, well, that's easy for you to say, Kanisha, you're a strong writer. And hey, why do you offer essay editing if you're telling us not to use Chat GPT? Part of it is Chat GPT is not a human, and Chat GPT doesn't really have boundaries when it comes to rewriting or writing for you. So it'll just write an entire essay full of hallucinations or whatnot, or rewrite an entire essay. Whereas my team is trained to know we edit. Yes, well, we might clean something up, but we're also going to be asking you questions to draw your own insights from you. We're not writing the essay for you. Lastly, I've said this before, but I just want to say it again. Do not rely on ChatGPT for reliable and accurate information about your target schools or scholarships. While ChatGPT can provide some information, it is not always reliable or up-to-date information, or it may just be making something up. And so it's really crucial to cross-reference any information that ChatGPT gives you with reputable sources. Check it against the actual school website to make sure that the information you got is correct. So those are the three major don'ts. Don't use ChatGPT to write your essays for you. Don't use ChatGPT to rewrite entire essays. And do not rely on ChatGPT for reliable and accurate information. Do not use ChatGPT as Google. It is not Google. Okay, there are some do's with ChatGPT though. Do use ChatGPT to help brainstorm essay topics. You can engage in conversations with ChatGPT to generate ideas or even choose a topic from a list of options. It can provide you with a perspective and prompt you to think creatively, helping you decide which essay topic best addresses the application prompt. One thing I like to do with ChatGPT as an entrepreneur, since we have lots of ups and downs, and as a writer, is to actually seek encouragement and pep talks from ChatGPT. So during the application process, at some point you might feel discouraged or overwhelmed or lacking in motivation. You can use ChatGPT as your cheerleader hype man or hype machine. ChatGPT can provide words of encouragement, boost your confidence, give you some small actions you can take to move forward. I do find it to be helpful when I'll say, today I just feel like nothing's working in my writing or in my business, and then have a little nice conversation with ChatGPT. Do use ChatGPT to draft email correspondence. You can get some guidance from ChatGPT, or it can just write the whole email for you. Throughout the application process, you're going to interact with a lot of different people: admissions committee members, current students, alumni, recommenders. ChatGPT can assist you in drafting effective and professional emails. You can even specify the desired tone to ensure the emails reflect your intentions accurately. Do use ChatGPT to rephrase things in your resume. You get carte blanche, full green light from Kanisha to use ChatGPT for your resumes, to rephrase accomplishments, to restructure, reorder your resume, also your LinkedIn profile, optimize each and every experience. Just make sure that you're reading and paying attention to what ChatGPT is rewording, because it could just make up experiences or accomplishments, and you definitely don't want to be doing that. And then lastly, I do think it's okay to use ChatGPT to help you rework small parts of your essay. So let's say you're struggling with a particular paragraph or a small part of your essay. ChatGPT can be a good, useful resource for rephrasing it. We could put in the text that's giving you trouble and engage in a conversation with ChatGPT to get suggestions and alternative wording. ChatGPT will often jump straight to, I've rewritten it, but you could say, could you give me suggestions for how to make this more effective or more compelling or more concise? I strongly discourage you from putting your entire essay into ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I think, will immediately jump to rewriting it completely. And then that'll put you in a position of, oh, but I've got this delicious, beautiful essay in front of me. Why don't I just copy and paste that and turn that in? Do not do that. There's the ethics of it, but also just the efficacy of it. You do not want to be applying to school with ChatGPT sounding essays. You want your essays to sound like you and the best version of you. Here are some prompts that you could use with ChatGPT during your application process. 1, can you suggest some compelling essay topics for addressing the prompt? And then the prompt might be, describe a challenging situation you have faced and how you overcame it. So you'd put that whole thing I just said in one message with ChatGPT. Another prompt you could put into ChatGPT is, for this essay prompt, and then give ChatGPT whatever the essay prompt is, I have 4 different experiences I could write about, or I have 4 different ideas for how to approach this essay. Which idea do you think would be most effective in responding to the essay prompt, and why? A third prompt you can use is, I'm feeling discouraged. Can you provide some words of encouragement to keep me motivated throughout the grad school application process? And get some affirmation and some words of encouragement. I do it as an entrepreneur and a writer. I encourage you to do it too. Number 4, please help me draft an email to an admissions committee member expressing my interest in their program and asking some questions I have. So you can either take an email you've already written, ask it to rewrite it, or just ask it to write from scratch. Here, these last 2 are where we're using ChatGPT like Google, which I really caution you in doing, but it can be a good sort of recommendation engine and starting point, but just make sure you fact check its answers to questions like the next 2 things. So number 5, what are some unique aspects or programs offered by insert your school name that you want to ask about? I want to incorporate those into my Why This School essay. Another one could be, I'm interested in studying marketing at a school in or near a large city in the U.S. What are some top 25 ranked MBA programs that might fit my goals? So with those last 2 type of questions, make sure you fact check those. All right, so we know what ChatGPT is. We know what generative AI is. We know some do's and don'ts of using ChatGPT. I just want to wrap up with a quick rattling off of clear guidelines for using ChatGPT ethically during your application process, okay? 1, avoid plagiarism. Do not copy or submit generated content from ChatGPT as your own. Use ChatGPT as a tool for inspiration, brainstorming, refining your ideas, but make sure that what you applied with is your thoughts and experiences. 2, maintain authenticity. Make sure that your essays and the rest of your application materials reflect your voice, your perspective, your experiences, your personal touch. 3, use ChatGPT as a supplement, not a substitute. It's a helpful tool to enhance your application process, but you don't want to overly rely on it as the primary source of content creation. The primary source of content creation needs to be your brain and your hands typing on that keyboard, not ChatGPT. Number 4, evaluate and verify information. Remember, ChatGPT is just generating responses based on patterns in the data it was trained on. So that information is not always accurate. It's not always up to date. ChatGPT loves to confidently declare something that just does not exist. Number 5, exercise critical thinking. Approach the responses you get from ChatGPT with discernment. Consider any potential biases, inaccuracies, or limitations in the content it produces. Cross-reference the information provided by ChatGPT with other sources to make sure that you really understand what you're reading and the topic at hand and making decisions based on real information. Number 6, seek human feedback and guidance, and not just any human, but I would say trusted advisors, mentors, experts like us at the Art of Applying, professors, people who know you, who you like, who you trust. Number 7, this is a real important reminder, which is be aware of time. ChatGPT for me is so fun to use. I can sometimes fall into a rabbit hole of using ChatGPT and just having fun, hanging out and playing with ChatGPT, that I get distracted from what I'm really supposed to be doing, and it consumes my time that I was supposed to be spending on something else. So you want to be sure that if you're going to be using ChatGPT, that you set clear time limits. Don't just say, oh, I'll just use it for 10 minutes. Set an alarm for 10 minutes, and maybe even set a backup alarm for 15 minutes so that you can really peel yourself away from the fun AI tool. Number 8 is make sure that you adhere to application guidelines. ChatGPT is here to help you in generating ideas, but you want to make sure that you are going off of the real information you are receiving from the schools about what your application needs to contain, how your essay needs to be formatted, how many pages your resume can be, how many letters of recommendation and who they should be from, all those kind of things. I've given you an explanation of what ChatGPT is, what generative AI is, some do's and don'ts, some prompts you can use with ChatGPT, and some very clear guidelines for ethically using ChatGPT in your application process. I've got some action items for you. I want you to sign up for a free ChatGPT account. And then the next action item is familiarize yourself with ChatGPT. Spend some time exploring and getting familiar with the features, how it works, experiment with different prompts, see how it responds. This will really help you effectively engage with ChatGPT throughout your application process. Then I want you to type in some application-related prompts, even just for fun. You can input the prompts that I mentioned earlier or some of your own. That will give you a sense of how ChatGPT responds and how it works and how it might be helpful to you throughout your application process. Some other action steps is you can actually have a brainstorming session with ChatGPT, use it as a brainstorming tool, put in some essay prompts and some ideas you have. And then lastly, make sure that you are clear on those guidelines I shared and your own personal boundaries with using ChatGPT as a supplement, okay? So it's a valuable tool. I have a ton of fun. I absolutely love it. I use it a lot in the business here at the Art of Applying, but we really want it as a supplement to your own thinking, creativity, and effort, not a substitute. Think of it as a platform or extra fuel, but it shouldn't be your only fuel. In this lesson, we got a good foundational understanding of ChatGPT, do's and don'ts, ethical guidelines, and some actions for using it in our application process. Go have fun with ChatGPT, because I'm going to be integrating ChatGPT and other AI tools into subsequent lessons. So you definitely want to make sure you know how to use the free one and the, I would say, most popular one, which is ChatGPT. All right, see you in the next lesson.